Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me. It is Thursday afternoon and I am excited to share these little tidbits with you guys today. So thank you so much for hopping on. We're going to talk about, are you living proactively or reactively? So if you're watching the live broadcast, thank you for getting on. And if you are watching the rebroadcast, I said live broadcast before, right? If you're watching the live broadcast, thank you. If you're watching the rebroadcast, thank you. Thank you either way for joining and just spending this time with me. I'm going to try to make it as brief as I can, but I tend to talk, so bear with me, and I would love to get your feedback. Here's the cool thing, that this is live, so you can comment while I'm talking and ask questions or share, your input and points of view. Please stop, Stella. And then of course somebody is gonna come and join in. I have a little toddler here. So like I said, I'm talking about proactive or reactive living, and it kind of sparked my thought, my idea, because you need to stop please and go sit down. Okay, but then you need to go sit down. Okay, stop please. Because I have been stressed lately, and there's just been so much going on, and I had to kind of take a step back and go, okay, whoa, I'm falling into like the reactive pattern to where I'm just kind of like a pinball, and I'm like reacting and like bouncing, like in a pinball machine, instead of living proactively. So it's really easy to kind of like drift from proactive to reactive living. But here are kind of a few signs that you're living reactively, and then I have a few tips on how you can switch and get out of that. So the first sign that you are living in that reactive state, yes?
When you're done talking, not to talk.
Yes, when I'm done, you can say something. Okay, the first sign is that you are spinning your wheels, but you feel like you're going nowhere. So we all have you need to stop, and I need you to go sit down, please, okay? This isn't a time for you to interrupt. I'll call you when it's your turn, okay? When it's your turn, I'll call you over. I'm sorry, you guys, this is live. Go sit down, please. So we all are very, very busy, but here's the thing. Sometimes we get so busy and we get so distracted, and we just feel exhausted and we feel stressed, and then it's like we feel like we're accomplishing nothing. And it's kind of like, how are we so busy and we have so much going on, yet nothing seems to be getting done? So that's one sign that you're kind of living in that reactive state, is that you're just stressed and you're spinning your wheels and you're exhausted. And I just noticed I have a sticker on me. A Barbie sticker. I know, I just realized it almost stuck to my hand. I almost pulled it up in the video. But you're spinning your wheels, but yet you feel like nothing's getting done. Like, like your house is a mess, but yet you're busy all day and you're picking little things up and you're tidying, but it's like a bomb went off. Or you're, working in your business, whatever your job or your career, your position, your business, if you're a business owner, and you're like doing things every day, but yet it feels like your business isn't moving forward, and you're not seeing the growth, and you're not seeing like the fruits of your labor happen. So when you're in that state where it seems like you're doing so much but nothing's getting done, then you need to kind of take a step back and think, like, maybe I am stuck and I'm not really being proactive with my time and what I'm doing and my activities, but I'm kind of being reactive, almost like you're putting out fires, like you're just kind of reacting. It's like all these things being thrown at you, and so you're just reacting to those things that are coming your way instead of really taking control and taking charge of what the situation is and where you're going and what you're doing. The second sign of reactive living is that you are constantly stressed and overwhelmed. So it's just like, you don't have that sense of peace or that sense of calm or confidence even in all that's going on, but you just constantly feel stressed. So I will admit, this is how I have felt lately, and that's just a sign that things are really out of balance. So for me, definitely I have felt kind of out of balance. So where, we can have our priorities, and like for me, my family is one of my number one priorities. My faith is another priority, but where we're spending our time then isn't matching what those priorities are. So that's going to leave us feeling out of balance and out of sorts and very stressed and overwhelmed. So like if you say your family is your top priority, but yet you're spending more hours at work and you're constantly, putting in overtime and doing all these things on the side, or you're doing favors and trying to do things for friends and other people, so you're not honoring that top priority, which is your family, you're going to be really stressed and overwhelmed. So that's another sign that you're living in that reactive state. And so that's one area that you kind of have to think. My words say, my thoughts say, my family is my priority, but what are my actions reflecting? So your actions are going to really reflect where your priorities are lying, and if they're in line with what, the priorities in your heart and in your head are. So you're constantly stressed and overwhelmed. And the third sign is that your negative thoughts are outweighing your positive thoughts. So if you kind of find yourself in like that stressed, negative headspace where you're exhausted and you're just kind of finding yourself being more pessimistic and having like negative thoughts or negative, like, I'm just exhausted, I feel like, I'm not moving forward, I'm never going to accomplish this, I'm never going to get, this, and this, I'll never be here, I'm always going to be stuck, or, just like those kind of like pity party moments. That's another sign that you're living reactively instead of proactively, where you're moving towards your goals. So just kind of take a look at where your thought patterns are, and that's really a big sign as to the way you're living your life. So the good news is I've got 3 tips that can kind of help you transition if you're like, that is totally me. I'm living reactively and I'm stressed and I'm overwhelmed and I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Here are 3 tips that can kind of help you go from that reactive state to living more proactively. So the first one is stop, drop, and plan. So take a moment, take a day, take an hour, whatever it is that you can do and handle, and just stop and kind of reassess and reevaluate and think about what it is that you want to do and where it is that you want to go. What are your goals and what do you want to do? And what is it that you've been doing? So if your goal is to be, let's say paying off debt, your goal is to be paying off debt, stop and kind of think, okay, what are my goals? What do I need to do to get to my goals? And then that way you can kind of assess where you can change what have you been doing and what do you need to be doing to get to that, end point, that goal that you want to do. So stop, drop, and plan. Just think about where you want to go and how you're going to get there. The second tip is to stop spending time on the things that truly don't matter. And that seems like an easy thing to do, but if you're like me, and you are a people pleaser who wants to just like love on others and you want to help everybody and you want everybody to like feel cared for and feel loved and to like you, then you kind of overcommit yourself and you're likely to say yes all the time and take on way more than you can handle. And then what happens is we end up spending so much time helping other people and putting out fires and being like the savior, thank you, that then we're not focusing on the things that are truly important to us, and we're not focusing on the things that are moving us forward or our family forward towards our goals. So really stop and evaluate. I have a quote that I love by Christy Wright, and she goes, just because somebody needs you doesn't obligate you to do it. That was huge for me because I felt like if somebody asked me to do something and they needed me, it was like I felt obligated, like I had to do it because I didn't want to let that person down. But we're then creating a situation where we're not setting healthy boundaries and we're going to allow ourselves to be just kind of run over like a rug and always be called on. And not that we can't help other people, there's definitely a time and a place for that, but we need to set those healthy boundaries and really, if that's affecting what your priority is, like my family is my number 1 priority, and I'm constantly saying things, yes to things that are taking me away, then I am not honoring my priority, and I'm gonna feel just completely out of balance and overwhelmed and stressed, and then my goals will never come to fruition because I'm too busy helping other people with theirs. So we have to really protect what matters and start spending the time and the focus on that which does matter. And then the last, number 3, third tip is recognize your thought patterns and where we can change them. And this huge part of that is to stop comparing ourselves to others. So hard. And I think we don't even realize half the time when we are doing it, and social media makes it really hard not to feel like we're kind of comparing. And so we have like squirrel moments all over the place where, you know, we're catching on and we're saying like, oh, I need to do this, and maybe that person's doing this, and maybe that will move me forward, and I need to try that too. But we just kind of need to stop and just put on our blinders and really stay focused on what is important, what matters, what our purpose is, our calling, our priority, and then just let everybody else follow their own path and live their journey, and not get stuck into that game where, you know, we're like looking and just constantly seeing and comparing and feeling like we have to be doing all things. There's another quote I love. It says, you can do anything, but you can't do everything. So, you know, just really be at peace and find that place of being okay with where you are right now. Be excited about where you want to go and do the things you need to do to get there. And just don't worry about anybody else's journey, because everybody's at a different point and we all have different starting points. You know, some people at the beginning, some people have been doing something longer. So just learn how you can recognize those thought patterns and change them and be positive. And when you catch yourself, you know, with a negative statement of, you know, thinking like, oh, I will never be at this point, start saying, you know, I'm working on that, I'm gonna get there. Or even sometimes there's a goal that I'm trying to reach in my business, and I say it as if it is true. I say, I am da 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 da, you know, whatever my goal is. But I say it as if it's true and if it is present and as if I've accomplished it. So start doing that and write your goals out and write those things out, and then kind of like start believing them and speak them, because your mind is going to believe whatever it is that you tell it. So if you're constantly telling yourself negative things about yourself, you know, I'm shy, I'm insecure, I'm too lazy, I'm too whatever it is, I'm too I don't know, what's the word? What are the things? I'm trying to think of negative things we tell ourselves. I don't know why I can't think of any right now. But start replacing those with the opposite. Stop. As soon as you hear it, stop that thought. Replace it immediately with the positive. And then that way you are starting to tell yourself positive things. Feed your mind that positive food and what it needs to move forward. Otherwise, we're creating a mental block ourselves that it's like we're building our own wall that we'll never get past. So those are just a few of my signs and tips for going from reactive to proactive living, and I hope that you guys found it helpful. I would love it if you guys would share this if you feel like it's helpful, and you wouldn't mind sharing it to your Facebook page. Also, I've had a few people ask, how can they always seem to miss my live broadcast and always catch the rebroadcast. So there is a button, I think right now while I'm live, it's at the bottom that says live notifications. You'll click on that. If you're watching the rebroadcast, it's up at the top right, I think, and you'll click on that and it'll say like get notifications, or, you know, get live notifications. So that way it'll tell you once I'm on and you can join in. Hi Jody, thank you so much for the comment. And Emily, if you're still on, thank you for the whoop whoop. I appreciate it, you guys. So have a fantastic rest of your day, and I hope you guys found this helpful. Like I said, please feel free to share it, and if you guys have anything else you would love to hear me cover, or, you know, you have feedback you want to share, I'm open to it. So thanks again, you guys, and I will talk to you later. Kathy, you read my mind. Oh, good. I hope it was good reading your mind. So, okay, guys, have a great day. I'll talk to you later.